Welcome to High School Sports on the Harford Cable Network. I'm Don Morrison. Today at North Harford High School, it's the North Harford Hawks taking on the Bel Air Bobcats in a field hockey game. Karen Fike, my partner, a beautiful afternoon. Temperatures maybe in the low 70s, a little bit of a breeze, just an ideal day to play or to watch a game.
Absolutely.
Now today we're seeing two teams that really need a win. North Harford comes in with a 1-4 record, Bel Air 0-2. These arch rivals, a win today, like the game we watched on Monday Night Football last night, or actually Sunday Night Football, where the Ravens came back and won. What a wonderful win it would be, not only to improve your record, but anytime you're Bel Air, you beat North Harford, or vice versa, North Harford beat Bel Air, that's a red letter day.
Absolutely.
When you look at this game, what do you think the key will be?
I think the key will be possession, maintain the ball on your stick, making great passes, and speed and endurance.
Well, it's a great day for it. I mean, there's no wind to speak of. There's obviously playing on a turf field, so there's no issues with bad bounces. So field hockey played in these conditions, it couldn't be much better.
Yes.
Talk about this field now. It's 100 yards long. The goal is 7 feet wide. Folks who don't watch field hockey very much, who don't appreciate it, it is a very, very tough sport to play because of the skills. You're looking down at the ball, yet trying to see where you're going.
Yes. The maintaining the ball on the stick at all times is key for possession. And then meanwhile, you're picking your head up to look for the pass, which is a higher level skill, but most of these girls should be mastering it at this point.
And they talk about you can't raise your stick beyond your waist, and you can't hit the ball purposely above your waist unless you loft it, but you can't take a full swing. Now, some people think, well, gosh, that just limits the game, but the safety is involved. If you've ever been hit by one of those hockey balls, I think they're made of solid rock.
Yes.
I'm exaggerating, but they are hard.
Well, they have changed that rule. You're now allowed to swing the stick above your head as long as it's not dangerous and not into crowd. But if you're out in free space, you're allowed to lift the stick above your head.
Okay, and able to take a swing?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and you're allowed to lift the ball up in the air. It's called an aerial.
Yeah.
And there's, we can talk about it during the game, but there's specifics on the aerials and where they need to be. A lot of times that gets called for different reasons. But
11 players on each side,
yep.
One goalie, 10 players. We look at the goals scored. Now, we've got a 16-foot circle, the red line, which is almost invisible here from your TV screens, but that's a very key part because if there's a foul that occurs inside that circle, then you get the penalty shot. A lot of goals are scored that way.
Right. Yep, a corner. Yep, you get the corner inside the red circle.
Talk about a corner. What happens in a corner situation?
So you're allowed 4 defenders and the goalie behind the line, and everyone else on the defensive side has to run back to the 50. And then the offense has no rules except for they have to stand outside the red circle. You can put the entire team around the red circle, which wouldn't be smart, but you can put whatever number you feel around the circle, and they have set plays. So the coach is usually calling the plays, or the players call their own plays. Most teams have around 4 to 7 plays that they run, and you'll get to see that today.
You see Carla Harford now, the coach for North Harford, talking to her team. Carla's one of these veteran coaches. She tells me she's been teaching for 28 years. She looks like she might be 28 years old.
Right.
What's that all about?
Yes, very young, very young. Yeah.
She's from Seamilton, right? She coached originally and then came to North Harford, I guess, back in the early 2000s. Been the head coach since 2012. Luca Savage, the coach for the Bel Air Bobcats, she was at Joppatown for a while and came to Bel Air. This is her first year as a head coach at Bel Air.
I guess last year.
Yeah. And we should mention that last year there was no hockey. There was no fall sports at all. So these folks who were sophomores 2 years ago are now seniors, having missed a whole year.
Right.
Which was very tough. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on, how tough it was for your daughter who's playing tonight, Paige Fike, who's playing as a freshman and a defender, actually a midfielder. We'll talk about how it was for her not being able to play.
Right.
How was it while they're introducing?
Yeah, while they're introducing, they actually had a league at Harford Tech. It was basically through the rec program, Churchville rec program, kind of put on by Janice Rhodes, organized it, and all the teams got to play. They weren't coached by like Lucas Savage and Carla, but they were coached. Actually, Lori and I actually coached one of the Bel Air team.
Yeah.
So they were able to play and pretty much had a full season during COVID. It just wasn't through the high school.
Yeah.
So it was super fun.
That was a good thing, to be able to continue playing. But what a tough time it was. We're certainly hoping that we're through the COVID pandemic, and now kids are back in school. Still have issues with the COVID, but at least they're in school every day, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
You see the Bel Air team being introduced, and we'll give those names to you in numbers in just a moment.
Number 28, Reagan King. Number 29, Madigan King.
The King sisters being introduced. Two sets of sisters, actually triplets on one, Lily Kummel and her sister Leah on the team. They also have a triplet brother by the name of Thomas, Reagan King and Madigan King, close playing on the forward line for the Bel Air Bobcats.
Yep.
Here you see the starting lineup being introduced.
Number 41, Emily Allen.
Emily Allen, a first-year player, actually a second-year player. They tell me that Emily Allen has 2 part-time jobs and is on the honor roll.
That's impressive.
It's impressive.
That's really impressive.
Kidding me? 2 part-time jobs. I'd be so far asleep first period. I would need to say, what first period? I have no idea.
Number 10, Allison Stewart.
Now they're introducing the North Harford players. You're very familiar with these young ladies.
Yeah. There's a couple out there that I know. I'm looking forward to watching them play.
It's really good. They're announcing the entire team, so every team member gets a chance to get her face on the camera and have her name introduced. We're commenting on the North Harford uniforms, beautiful uniforms, but gold numbers on white. We may miss a number or two.
That's right.
Suggestion to Tim Larimore, athletic director, numbers should be a little different color than the background color.
Hard to see for my old eyes all the way up here in the box.
Old eyes, you're funny.
Number 96, Ellie Kuchera. Number 97, Riley Holmstrom. And now your starting lineup.
Here comes the starting lineup for the North Harford Hawks.
Junior captain Autumn Tagliaferri.
Autumn, who's a second-year player, plays basketball and lacrosse.
Number 3, junior
Emma Moffat is senior.
Number 4, sophomore Corinne Sims. Number 5, sophomore Grace Conklin.
Grace Conklin has 3 goals. I think she's a leading scorer for North Harford, I'm told. Plays lacrosse and a swimmer as well.
Number 8, senior captain Annika Peterson.
7 was Kendall Fortune, and 8 is Annika Peterson, one of the co-captains on the team, a senior, third-year player.
Number 11, senior captain Jackie Boltman.
Jackie Boltman, a senior also, a 4-year player, wants to go to a 4-year college, I should say.
And starting in goal today, number 86, sophomore Sarah Rice.
Sarah Rice-Snyder, we're told, I think by you, that she looks like she's one of the players that could have a future in field hockey, perhaps in college.
Oh, absolutely. I've been watching Sarah play for a long time. She's been on the team with Paige. Fantastic player.
Paige, of course, being your daughter, Paige Fike.
Right.
Now to honor our country here from North Harford High School, it is our national anthem. Karen Pike, we're ready for a game. It ought to be a very interesting game. Again, we talk about Bel Air and North Harford. We don't need to say anything for folks who are familiar with the county sports. probably no bigger arch rivals. Maybe North Harford, Falston, perhaps. Maybe Bel Air, Milton, Wright. But this certainly qualifies as an arch rival game.
Absolutely. They're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's kind of, as you look at the schedule when you get it and you say, well, here's a game I'm thinking about. Yeah, North Harford. Yeah, Bel Air. This is the one I really want to play well for.
That's right.
We're so privileged to be able to bring folks this on TV. I was telling you before that we go back to 1994 when we started doing this, and I have people coming up to me who are older people who say, hey, you covered me back in 1994. How can that be? You're an old person. But it's fun to be able to do these games and have these young people be stars.
A lot of them have played club sports and hockey against each other and with each other. So it'll be really exciting for them to not only play against a rival, but a teammate and a friend on the other side.
Absolutely. And, of course, when you cross that white line, friendships cease to exist for a little while, until the game is over. Bel Air in the blue uniforms going from right to left across your TV screen. North Harford in the white and the gold with the green pants. I used to call those shorts, don't you? Yeah.
Skorts.
Yeah, skorts.
Yeah,
I don't know these terms. Well, here we go. Bel Air with the ball. Talk about, Karen, what they're trying to do. What are they trying to set up here?
A lot of times they try to work it down the sideline because the center gets a lot of people in the middle. So going down the sideline is a great tactic and keeping it out of the center. As you can see, she's moving it down the field.
And of course, the gold line is the out-of-bounds line. The white line sometimes gets confusing. This is a football field and soccer field, so you've got a whole different series of lines. So
it's the blue.
It's the blue
yeah,
line.
It's the blue. I don't know why. I guess they want red for the circle and blue for the sideline.
That makes sense to me.
And you have to put the ball on the sideline. See how it's right on the sideline.
60 feet wide, 100 feet long. The goals are right at the goal line on each end of the football field. Karen, how tough it is to be able to, again, to watch the ball, keep it on your stick, and actually have a perspective of where your teammates are and your opponents.
It's very difficult.
Ball went out of bounds, so it'll be brought in.
So when you're inside the 25, where the ball is now, coming into the circle, you have to travel the ball 5 yards before it actually is hit into the circle. That's why a lot of times the ball will go backwards, which doesn't make sense if you don't understand hockey. That's why she passed it back 5 yards so that then you can hit the ball into the circle.
Rules and rules. Come on.
Yeah, there are a couple rules.
North Harford on the attack. Obviously very early in the game, just about a minute and a half into the game. 15-minute quarters.
So ball coming out.
Talk about obstruction, Karen. That's one of the common calls that you see.
Obstruction is when the ball is not moving and you're blocking the ball with your body. So your ball, your ball always has to be moving. So if the ball's moving, you want to obstruct.
And of course, in basketball, you're taught to put your body between your opponent and the ball. In hockey, no, you have to put the ball out in front of you so your opponent can take it away. What's that all about, Karen?
Right, exactly.
I think it's safety. If you're trying to guard the ball with your body, that's not a good thing.
Right.
Bel Air
worked it to the right side of the field. A lot of times the dominant team will play on the right side because that's your stick side. You can be more powerful coming down the right side of the field. Bel Air has worked it over the right side where North Harford has started out on the right side.
And you can't switch your club and hit it left-handed, can you?
You can flip it around and use a reverse side. So you'll see it.
So what I'm speaking about is a left-hander. If you're naturally left-handed, that's a disadvantage in this game.
Yes.
Because you have to have the stick on your right side.
Yeah.
It's a very tough game. I've watched it for many, many years, decades. Hard to understand, hard to play. The skill level that it takes to become a good field hockey player takes years and years to develop.
Absolutely. Right now, both teams kind of jumbled up together. There's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of passing happening because everyone's just kind of around the ball.
Yep.
So hopefully they'll start getting the jitters out and both teams working the ball wide.
Yeah, nobody's had a shot on goal just yet. In fact, nobody's even threatened to be close enough to shoot. Talk about, again, Karen, if you shoot the ball, let's say from the 20-yard line, football 20-yard line, can it go directly in the goal and be counted?
No, it has to be touched. Like Paige just shot it right there, and then somebody touched it inside the goal. So, inside the circle. Somebody on the offensive team has to touch the ball.
It was Sarah Reifsnyder who was able to make that save. That's the first save we've seen.
Great save by Sarah, starting the game off for North Hartford.
Sarah has 38 saves on the year. Plays a softball and basketball. It's her first year playing varsity field hockey because, again, as a freshman, there was no field hockey to play as far as high school is concerned.
Oops.
Good play by the defensive player on that end.
Absolutely.
Nice play. I'm trying to find her number. Looked like that might have been the number 3, Grace Underwood, who made that clear. That was a great play because the ball was right out in front of the crease.
Yes.
I call it crease. I guess that's a lacrosse term, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lacrosse term. We just call this circle. Now we're starting to spread out a little bit more. You'll see both the teams probably doing a little bit better passing.
You talked about bringing it down the sideline, which is what they're doing now. You know, another great thing about fields, like go back 10, 15 years when the referee blew the whistle, play stopped, and it took a long time to get the ball back in play. Now the referee just blows the whistle, points, and they start again.
Right.
Speeds up the game.
It speeds up the game for sure.
I think for folks like me who are interested in seeing action, it's quite helpful.
Right.
Bobcats, again, if there has been one team that's dominated so far, you'd have to say the Bobcats have had the ball in North Hartford territory. Now, in the old days, I'm talking about old days, you had steel-toed shoes, the goalies. And nobody came close to the goal because she would whack them with those steel-toed boots.
And it was like bamboo. It looks like something out of a vlogger magazine or something.
Now I think it's more hard rubber now, but
yeah,
still.
It's foam. It's foam pad, so really she can give a good whack and that ball will sail. But they have to control it, so they have to be careful with that.
Being a goalie in any sport is a thankless job. The only time you normally get your name mentioned is when the ball goes in the net.
Right.
Or in this case, in the goal.
This is a long hit, so anytime the defense hits the ball out accidentally off of the end line, the ball comes straight up for where it was to the 25-yard line, and then that's where Bel Air will take the ball. But it has to travel 5 yards before they can hit it into the circle. So there's the 5 yards, and then there's the red circle. They can hit it in now. Yep.
And again, to score, they have to be inside the 16-yard circle?
Yes.
Unless it's touched by another player?
Right. But you do tell your teammate, you coach your team to shoot the ball. They don't always have to be in the circle because the forward's job is to touch it.
How about if a defensive player touches it and it goes in? Is it a goal?
They changed that rule, I don't know how many years ago, but it has to be touched by an offensive player.
Okay. North Hartford, another great interception.
Great defense by North Hartford coming out. Way to bring it out wide. That is...
Looks like, is that number 3 again?
Number 1, that's Autumn.
That's Autumn Tagliaferri, the junior basketball lacrosse player. Wants to have a career in teaching special ed. Now that's something that me as a former teacher, special ed is a calling.
That's great. That's wonderful.
She's part of
they got a corner. The sign for corner is 2 hands stretched out. I didn't quite see that. They hit her foot.
Now again, Karen, you talked about a corner, so 4 defensive players only in the circle.
Defense, yep, they have to start behind the baseline, the end line, and the goalie as well has to be behind the end line. And then let's see who's inserting number 37, which is Lily. Lily Kummel is inserting the ball. It's probably going to come up to Paige Fike at the top of the circle, and they have called some sort of play. So hopefully.
So it's Kummel to put the ball in play.
Outside the circle. Ball's got to be outside the circle, and then little missed pass there.
Well, missed opportunity.
Right.
North Hartford not able to get back on defense.
Nice tackle by Lily.
Lily Kummel, number 37, the senior.
Great. So you got a corner. So Paige got a corner. You can do it again. Hopefully this time corner will go a little bit better. Because corner is a great opportunity to score. It's probably, I would say if I had to take a guess, 50% of the scores come from corners.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And you can see all the people at the 50, maybe not on the camera, but.
Nice pass. Good play by North Hartford to break it up.
Yep, excellent. Excellent defense and quick outlet.
It looked like Emma Moffett, the senior, who made that great defensive play. So we're now just about 6:23 left in this first period. No score. The only shots on goal have been by the Bel Air Bobcats.
Nice ball down the sideline.
Here come the Hawks on the
by
attack.
Corinne. Great attack by the Hawks. Good defense.
Out of bounds it goes. The Hawks will put it in play.
Paige Dombrowski on the backfield. Good defense back there.
Corin Sims, the sophomore, to put it in play.
Yes.
Out of play it goes. The Bobcats will take over. Coming up on the 5-minute and 40-second mark of the first period. Hockey normally a low-scoring game. 4-2 would be.
Yeah, that's
probably
actually probably a high-scoring game.
high-scoring, yeah.
You're used
Could be
to
1-0, 2-1.
Yep.
Looking at some of the scores, Hereford defeating North Harford 1-0. They topped Catonsville, did the Hawks 3-0, and lost to Mount Hebron 3-2. Also lost to Liberty by 3-1.
Okay.
Bel Air scores, let's see, they lost to Century 3-1 and South Carroll by 4-2. Both these teams in the Chesapeake division of the Upper Chesapeake Bay Athletic Conference. Karen, from your experience, C. Milton Wright, probably the team to beat normally. Falston, usually strong.
Yes. Seaman Wright had a lot of seniors. They had a strong year last year, I think, or the year
2 years
before.
ago.
They went to states, lost in the finals, but they lost a lot of seniors. So we'll have to see how strong they are when we play them. I think they've had a good season so far.
Looking at
Good
Falston.
attack there.
Falston, of course, under Alice Puckett, who's now retired. They won, what, 12, 13 state titles back in the day.
Yeah. A lot of these girls know and have played for Alice. So
Alice Puckett, one of the greatest coaches I've ever been around, male or female in the county. Kids love her.
she's wonderful.
Very demanding, but, demanding in a very positive way.
Absolutely. Bel Air has her third corner of the day.
Again, as you talked about it, 50% of the goals perhaps scored come out of the corner, so there's the big opportunity. Four defensive players only.
Right.
Now you can, and you said, Karen, they can put as many offensive players as they want outside that circle.
Yes.
Looks like Bel Air has about, what, 7?
Yes. The ball speed of the ball coming out needs to come a little bit faster coming out.
Gives the defense a chance to get back in position.
And a shot.
That's a goal.
And that's a goal by Paige Fike. Well, it was off the defender, so
We'll call
I guess that
Paige Fike.
calls a goal.
Now, if Karen Fike has a little bit of pride in that call, you must remember that the freshman
That's our
Paige
first
Fike.
goal in the high school.
Here's a replay. You'll see how this scored, and you said it, Karen, off the corner.
Let's see. It was off it. No, we didn't see it in the
We
replay,
missed
but
that one.
off of the defender's stick. Or maybe Lily. Maybe Lily got her stick on it.
So Paige Fike at 3:30. Here comes the replay.
I can't.
So it's 1-0.
Maybe Lily got it. I couldn't tell.
The Bobcats taking that 1-0 lead. We promise to get you a better replay on the next one. Bobcats with that 1-0 lead, looking for their first win of the year. Coming in at 0-2. Win on your opponent's field, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
If you're the Bobcats.
Especially for a first win, right?
Absolutely. Last time they played, I think the Bobcats won. That was again 2 years ago. I mean, go back.
And that's Madigan King past her. Oh, her sister's flying down the field.
Yeah, Reagan King and Madigan King. Reagan a sophomore, Madigan a senior. Two sisters. And again, we talked about Lily Cummel and Leah Cummel, also sisters on the Bel Air Bobcat team. Must
And
be
we have
interesting.
twins on the JV team.
How about that?
Yeah.
Must be interesting to be a coach of having sisters. Sisters, best friends and mortal enemies, depending on the day.
Right. I think these two are pretty good friends.
Having two granddaughters who are best friends most of the time.
Right.
As long as they don't get on each other's way.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think when it comes to winning, they're best friends, right?
absolutely. Hawks down 1-0, looking to try to get back in a tie situation.
Great transition. They call that transition when you move from one side of the field to the other. Hawks did a nice job with that. Ooh, 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 oh.
Looks like
Laney's down, hurt her ankle.
Wow, she went down and grabbed that right ankle knee area.
Oh.
That's Delaney McDermott who went down. Looks like it was a non-contact injury. Maybe she turned the ankle.
Yeah, I didn't see right before, but it was not really involved in the play.
Making Lucas Savage, the coach for Bel Air, out there checking on her player. Certainly hope it's just a case maybe where she rolled that ankle a bit.
Oh, she's scooting off. Delaney's a strong midfielder and really holds that midfield together with her hustle. So hopefully it's just a quick turnaround here.
She's in a group called PAWS, and I think that's an acronym. They are people who help other students, like new students, to get acclimated to the school.
Yeah, that's great.
PAWS stands for something. I have no idea what it is, but being a Bobcat, PAWS would fit in there. I think that's a great thing. Kids can be, I don't want to say cruel, but there are cliques, and sometimes when a kid comes in and is, let's say, ostracized by others, it would be the job of the PAWS to make sure that person has a friend.
Yeah.
And then similarly, the Best Buddies program, that's where you have a student who is a special needs student who is befriended by a kid from the regular, normal, classroom, and he or she becomes their friend, their advocate, which I think is a great thing. It teaches, Karen, so many lessons to both the kid who's being helped and the kid who's doing the helping.
Yes, that's wonderful. They did it in middle school as well.
Hawks on the attack.
So what you're seeing is Bel Air, they call it stick hacking, but if you see the ref kind of chop at her arm, that's a foul. You can't hit their stick with your stick. You have to go for the ball. I mean, they'll allow some of it.
Nice play by the Hawks. And good defense by Bel Air. Here come the Bobcats up by 1-0. Closing in on the 30-second mark
Beautiful
left in the first period.
Lily.
Lily Kummel.
Yes, great ball down the sideline.
Going down that left sideline, which again is the opposite sideline you normally see it, as you said, Karen. Only it's a right-handed team.
They're transferring the ball. A little more space.
Sort of a dangerous thing when you give ground that way if you get the ball intercepted.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Setting up the other team.
It needs to happen quickly.
9 seconds, 8 seconds.
Beautiful
looks like,
ball by Faith Kriegel out to the right wing.
Only 3 seconds left. I think that's going to be the end of that first period, and it is.
Wonderful.
1-0 is the score. Karen Pike says wonderful because she is, after all, a Bel Air mom.
That's right.
Hard to hide that, that bias we have. We understand.
But, I mean, North Harford, Autumn's doing a fantastic job on the back line there, really holding strong, getting the ball out, clearing it to the sideline, and carrying it and then releasing it when she needs to.
Autumn Tagliaferri, the junior. 1-0 the score. The Bel Air Bobcats scored the only goal of the game at 3:30. That by Paige Pike off a corner.
Well, we really couldn't tell if Lily hit it in, so it looked like yeah, we're going off of 100 yards away.
Yeah, we'll confirm that for you at halftime.
That's right.
So we're thinking that Lily Kummel is the one who deflected it in the net,
or the defender. Huh? Either way, it went in the goal. Because the ball was inside the circle when it was struck, and if the defender hits it in, that's okay at that point.
Okay.
Okay. But if it's outside the circle and the defender hits it in, then it's not
Thanks
a goal.
for clarifying that.
The corner, too, we'll talk about it if we see one. The girls know pretty well, but the first shot on goal needs to be hitting the black board. So if you shoot the ball too high on the first shot on goal from a corner, it doesn't count. It's just to keep the danger down.
Yeah.
But you can get the ball out and pass it, and then that shot can be lifted. So it keeps the danger down just a tiny bit.
That's a good point, and a lot of the rules are strictly for safety because the sticks are hard, the ball is hard, and if you allow sort of things to happen without control, injuries happen.
Right.
Some of the worst injuries I've seen in terms of broken noses and bruised up shins and so forth. Field hockey players, you've got to be a little bit tough to play field hockey.
Absolutely.
You know that as the mom of a field hockey player.
Definitely. And there's a lot. I mean, if you watch the collegiate level, it's just as much running as soccer. The ball moves so fast. They play on water turf, most of the D1 schools, so the ball moves I would say 20 to 30% faster, and the ball is just traveling up and down the field, and these girls are just running, running, running.
You made water turf. What is that?
It's I guess it's kind of like an AstroTurf, but they spray it with water,
Yeah.
so the ball kind of travels on top of water on the turf. But the girls never seem to be super, super wet. Like if they fall, they have a little bit of water on their outfit. I've actually never been on water turf before.
Well, this is a beautiful turf field. Now, of course, you can remember, go back, here comes Bel Air. Let's see what they do on the attack. If you go back maybe 10 or 15 years before they had the turf fields and you played on grass fields, it got rutted and so forth, the ball wouldn't roll clean and clear.
That's what I played on in high school. Grass fields that were like, 3 inches deep. In college, though, I played on Bermuda grass, which was a lot closer to turf, but it still wasn't turf. But pretty good grass.
Every field in Harford County now is a turf field, I believe. I think Joppatown just got its turf field.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. North Harford, the first school that got a turf field, that's been, 15 or more years ago. Their first field was really not, let's say, of the quality it needed to be. So this is the second iteration of a turf field here in North Harford. This one is great. The other one, when the dew settled, it got slick. It was like playing on ice. I can remember doing football games where it was almost a travesty when people were trying to cut and they would slip down. Not anymore.
So you can see compared to the first half and the second, everyone's spread out. So a lot of times the jitters are there. The passing is much better going on both teams, really, and everyone's more spread out. So as a coach, I'm sure they're quite pleased with the movement of the ball.
Bobcats continuing going from right to left. In a lot of sports, they switch at the quarter and they switch going. I guess they switch at halftime.
They switch at halftime, right? I know they just introduced the quarters, I believe, this year.
This is the first year they've done quarters. Before they were doing halves, and I guess that's again because it's such a long half to play 30 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's a lot of running.
Bobcats on the attack.
So that call was because she switched her call. So
changed her mind.
Yeah, I was going to say because she lifted it up into.
Again, 1-0 as you see on the scoreboard. Paige Fike, the only goal of the game at 3:30 for the Bel Air Bobcats in that first period. Bobcats on the attack.
Oh, Paige just scored again.
Paige Fike scores her second goal. Karen's been waiting to do that. I'm telling you, we do that in soccer like in world soccer. Here comes the replay.
That I don't think I need a replay for.
Here we'll see it. Fike coming down. Notice how the head's up. Oh, nice goal. Reeve Snyder had absolutely no chance to block that. It's now 2-0. So it's Paige Fike 2, North Harford nothing? Is that what we're saying?
Right. What?
That goal scored at the 11:57 mark. 2-0 Bobcats.
There you go.
North Harford now looking to try to get back in the game. Bobcats setting it up, letting the ball go back into their defensive, and now switching, as you said, Karen.
Yes, that was a transfer. Fields. So the only thing that coach would probably say on that is to make it wider. So you want your right back to be pretty wide to receive that ball from Faith Kragel.
Oh, nice interception by North Harford.
Corinne, very nice Corinne. Beautiful passing sequence.
Corinne Sims, number 4 for North Harford with that interception.
And that was a nice save by Mackenzie, her first varsity save ever. So
it's Mackenzie Leeson.
Yes.
Made the save.
Yes.
Speaking of Corinne Sims, this sophomore who wants to go to the military academy.
Nice.
Yep. in the National Honor Society. She's among the high school scholars. And in the FFA, the Future Farmers of America. Yeah.
Nice.
North Harford, of course, a very active farming area. Bel Air has the biomedical magnet, and North Harford has the farm magnet, where kids can come from all over the county to, if they're interested in farming, to learn the techniques and all the practices.
Yes, my older daughter went through the biomed program. She absolutely loved it, and Paige is following suit.
At Aberdeen, they've got the Science and Math Academy. Edgewood has the International Baccalaureate.
Okay.
So each of the schools have their own magnet program.
So they called a foot against Bel Air. So this is North Harford's first corner, which is exciting to see how they're going to attack the goal here. As you can see, I don't think we saw or pointed out last time, but they put face shields on. I don't know if you can see that from here. The defenders do, to protect their face. So the rusher.
There's a deflection.
It's wide open.
Oh, great
that's going to be
save.
another corner, because anytime a defender automatically hits the ball out of the defense unpressured, then it's a corner versus a long hit. So they get to do another corner.
And again, as you said, Karen, this is where the goals normally are scored.
Right.
We saw it happen for Bel Air on their first goal. Oops, little mishandle there. Good job by the Bobcats.
Beautiful job by Kylie Street. So they still have their masks on, which it makes it a little bit harder to see.
So you're
and
saying
another
they
corner.
put the mask on just for the corner?
Yes.
Wow. So they have it, what, on top of their helmet or on top of their heads, and they pull it down?
Yeah, it fits on like a shield.
Huh. Of course, they don't wear helmets as they do in lacrosse and other contact type sports.
It's hard to see with the mask, so you want to get it out. See, they're taking off their mask. You want to get it out as fast as you can and have your forward line.
It looked like Kylie Street, again, the senior who made that great defensive play. Kylie's one of those students who's dual enrolled. She's still going to college while she's in high school, taking classes from Harford to community college. Softball player, too, is Kylie Street. The day of the three-sport player, Karen, is pretty much gone in terms of, because the sports are so specialized. A lot of times they play year-round. Let's say, field hockey, they might play on clubs when they're not on the high school team.
Yeah.
Very seldom do you see a three-sport player who's really good at all three sports. Number one, because of the time demand, thinking about practicing every day.
Oh, nice!
Another goal for the Bobcats.
That was Madigan, assist from Paige. Good job, Madigan.
Paige Fike to Madigan King for the goal, and so the Bobcats go up by 3-0. That's 7-12. Here's the replay.
Oh, it says 29.
No.
Oh, maybe Kelsey hit it at the end. Okay, Kelsey hit it at the end.
Kelsey Fleischman is giving credit.
So Madigan with the assist and Kelsey with the finish. It's hard to tell from this angle.
It is.
Geez, I wouldn't be such a good ref, although I did ref.
Yeah.
I thought I was pretty good.
So you're saying that you're admitting that you were not a good ref, even though...
Not from this angle.
I got it. Kelsey Fleischman, the senior, who does get credit for the goal. 4 AP classes taken the biomed we talked about at Bel Air. So the goal goes to Fleischman. And Karen, who did you say got the assist?
Madigan. Madigan King.
Madigan King.
Yeah.
Again, there's Reagan King and Madigan King. Madigan, the senior of the two sisters. Reagan, the sophomore. That goal coming at 7-12, and now the Bobcats have a big 3-0 lead. Honestly, Karen, coming back from a 3-0 lead in field hockey, very difficult.
It's never, don't ever count it out. because, and that's what happens sometimes. The girls, coaches start doing subs. Girls get very lax, and you just don't want to change your game. You want to just keep pushing, keep striving to do your best.
But if you're North Harford now, what is your goal? You want to just try to chip away at it?
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten a couple corners now on us, and they have their passing has gotten, their backfield's really strong. Their passing has gotten much better. They just got to connect more in the goal. Great stick work by number 7,
Kendall Fortune.
Beautiful, coming down on the right side. That's where you get attacked from. You got to be careful when they come attack from the right.
Talked about that Best Buddies program. That's one of her outlets. A 4.44 GPA student, Karen.
Wow, Kendall. Amazing.
Oh, I always like to say I was a 4.0 student as well, but that was cumulative. 1.0 is a freshman, 1.0 is, 4.0 by the time I was a senior. Can you imagine 4.44? That means she's taking all these AP courses and
That's
acing
right.
them as well.
That's right. Ooh.
And playing field hockey and playing lacrosse. Wants to play lacrosse in college, does Kendall Fortune.
Okay.
Again, you mentioned just a junior. That's Kendall with the ball. Karen, we talked about this, the seniors last year who graduated, who missed, we're talking about in the fall and in the winter, their senior season. You know, it's just something you just don't get over. Your senior year is so important in terms of your memories.
Oh, yeah.
And you're all set to play your senior year, and now it's taken away from you.
Yeah. It was definitely hard. I had a senior, and with them not being in school, but they had college to look forward to, most of them.
Yeah.
So super excited about that and starting off with a fun freshman year in college. Most of the colleges seem to have gone back to pretty much normal mass, but, you know, going to the activities, the football games, all the sports. So hopefully they're having a great time.
Yeah, and praying that things are back to quote-unquote normal.
Yeah.
Not sure that we'll ever get back to what we were before, but some of that's probably good, that we're a little more aware of safety. Here come the Hawks on the attack, needing a goal. Boy, great job taking it in deep.
And they got a corner. And that's what I was saying. You never let down because they keep chipping away.
3 minutes, 11 seconds, clock moving. Bobcats 1 goal in the first period, now 2 so far here in the second period. Fike 2 of the goals and Fleischman the other. Hawks needing a goal here in the worst way.
So the insert happened, ball comes out, crosses the line. Oh,
swing
and that
and a
should be a
miss.
dangerous swing.
Looked like Emma Moffett, the senior, who took a mighty swing and came up empty.
See how she's carrying it to the right? It's really hard to defend that, so it's much better to carry to the right.
That's Fortune. Boy, she did a nice job of just sort of knifing her way through the crowd. Have to be proud of the Hawks down 3-0. They are certainly not giving up. That's Fortune again.
We got to put a little bit, Belair's got to put a little bit more pressure coming from the right.
Mackenzie Leeson with that save. Leeson just a sophomore. Both goalies are sophomores. That's a little unusual.
Actually, Nora's a junior.
Is she really? I was given
Oh,
a sophomore. Shows what I know.
well, I could be wrong, but
Which one did you say was a junior?
I know Mackenzie's definitely a sophomore. I think Nora is a junior.
I thought Sarah Reifsnyder.
Oh, Sarah's a sophomore.
Yeah, that's the starter for
Yes.
for North Harford.
Yes.
What I meant was the goalies on both teams are both
Oh,
sophomores.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yes, absolutely.
Here come the
Beautiful.
Bobcats, a breakaway.
Kelsey with a breakaway, with a pass, beautiful pass. Madigan to Reagan. Oh,
Ball still in the circle.
beautiful defense by Autumn again. And Kryn back to help out. Great job on North Hartford's point.
The Autumn is Autumn Tagliaferri, number one junior. It was Kelsey Fleischman at number 14 who brought the ball all the way down the left side.
Yeah, that was
On
great.
the breakaway. Just about 30 seconds left here in this second period.
30 seconds.
If you're North Hartford, obviously you just don't want that fourth goal to go in. "15 seconds. "5 seconds. Don't know if she has time to get off a shot or not. Nope. And the second period will end with the score of the Bel Air Bobcats 3-0 as they now have reached halftime. Karen, given an evaluation, the Bobcats certainly looked strong. They had good skills, they had good passing, and made the shots they needed to.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like both teams after the first 5 minutes started to settle down, spread out in the passing. I feel like actually North Hartford's attacking more on the right and carrying the ball down the right side a little bit better than Bel Air, but I feel like Bel Air in general's passing sequences have been more pivotal and attacking better in the circle for sure.
Yeah, so I'll put you in the shoes of Carla Harvard, the coach for North Hartford. What do you tell your team? How do you get back in the game?
You just keep plugging away and do one goal at a time. Keep getting the corners for North Hartford. Corners are the answer because it means you're putting pressure on that goalie. And they're doing a great job attacking from the right with Annika and Kendall come in at the right. And Bel Air's not pressuring as much as I would hope coming down the right side because they can get a really nice cross off that just goes right in the goal.
That's where we are here at halftime. The score of the Bel Air Bobcats leading by 3-0. Karen Fike, it's been a pleasure having you with me here for the first half.
Yes, it's been fun.
Great job. Now don't do too well because I need this job.
No, I think you've got it in the bag.
Thanks so much. We'll take a little break here. We'll come back with the third period coming up in just a moment. We're back with you at North Hartford High School where the North Hartford Hawks find themselves down by 3-0 here at the halftime. We have a new commentator. We have switched. Laurie Tabor now is with us. Laurie, we were talking about you have a daughter who plays on JV.
Yep.
And so you're into field hockey. You're a youth coach in your past
Absolutely.
experience.
Played in college and high school myself. So
Did you really? Where'd you play in
did.
college?
I played for Eastern University in St. David's, Pennsylvania.
Ah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
so
I can do
you're
that.
into field hockey and you like the sport, and your daughter apparently does as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And I born and raised in Maryland. I played for Francis Scott Key High School, so
In Carroll County.
in Carroll County. So I'm loving watching some more Maryland field hockey.
And it doesn't get much better than this. What a beautiful day. Of course, if you're in North Hartford, you'd like the score to be a little bit different,
right,
but
yeah.
Bobcats coming in with no wins. So your evaluation of that first half, Karen seemed to think that it was the ball handling, stick handling by Bel Air that made the difference.
Absolutely. Bel Air did a good job keeping their pressure on. They really pressured into the circle, which made all the difference. Execution, you don't normally get a lot of opportunities on goal, and so when you get that shot, you've really got to take it. And they did a good job inserting into the circle and hitting it into the goal. North Hartford, though, has had some strong defense and hasn't given up the fight, so they're doing a good job as well. We good to see them take advantage of the corners that they got. So they had a lot of corners. It'll be good to finish on the execution of that this
And they're coming out fast here in North Hartford now, switching around. It's the Hawks that's going from right to left in the white jerseys and the Skorts, I think we were told they were.
Skorts, they are.
Skorts. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this field hockey game. Again, arch rivals, Bel Air and North Hartford. Each one needing a win. Bel Air looking for their first win of the year. The Hawks have one win. They're 1-4. So obviously playing your arch rival,
Yes.
it's like 2 or 3 wins beating Bel Air, or in the case of Bel Air beating North Hartford.
Absolutely. And field hockey being a niche sport, a lot of these girls on the field play each other and have been on the same team at one time. So once teammates, always teammates, even if you're on opposing teams.
Unless, of course, the game is on, and then for at least those 15 minutes per period.
That's right.
So the Hawks now looking to try to get that score if they can.
Yeah.
Here's Tim, our excellent commentator, looking for something wrong with our board here. Good job, Tim. Tim has to come all the way up those steps. We counted them, right, Tim? 42 steps? 42 steps, yeah. Yeah, but Tim's a young man. He can do that.
Faith Craigle hitting it out.
Meantime, as we're talking over what's happening, the game continues. 12 minutes left in the third period. Looking now to key the ball in. That's Grace Underwood, the junior number 3, who brought the ball into play. Nice defensive play. Good takeaway by the Bel Air Bobcats. Play Kylie Street, number 35, who made that play.
Brinson sending it back to defense.
You hear some of the wind through our field, Mike. I think it's, the wind is not hard at all, but it is a little bit breezy.
There's Harford pressuring and bringing it down the side.
Here come the Hawks, desperate for that goal if they can get it. Boy, it appears like the Bobcats are a little bit on the defensive here starting this third period.
Yep, absolutely.
Again, if you're the coaches at halftime, if you're North Harford, you have to convince your kids that, hey, you're down 3-0, but you're not out of the game.
That's right. As a coach, the biggest opportunity is to reset your mindset at the halftime and get everybody go back in, and especially when you're starting in behind. Good insert by North Harford.
Come the Hawks now bringing up the left side. We talked about the girls being right-handed, having to have the stick on the right. It's much easier and much more comfortable to bring it up the right side.
Yeah, strong six side is always going to be easiest.
Chloe, we saw that instance where she did turn her stick and hit the ball left-handed. So you can do that, but that's a skill that's an advanced skill as well.
It is, absolutely. The biggest challenge in field hockey is you're going to only hit it on the flat side of the stick. So you've got to make sure that if you reverse, that it stays flat side to the ball.
Hawks trying to break up that attack by Bel Air. At the time, I guess they would call that obstruction, where she used another part of her body to block the ball.
Yep, obstruction, absolutely, but the ball has to stop moving, and she's blocking the ball, so it's not able to be defended.
So it looked like the Bobcats now will have a corner coming up.
Yeah.
Sorry, we talked about a corner being an excellent opportunity to score.
That's all right, Kelly.
Only 4 defenders.
Yes, absolutely. This is a great opportunity for the Bobcats.
Well, that ball hit the post.
It sure
How
did.
does that happen?
It sure did. That was a strong hit in by Bel Air, but it just shy of hitting the back of the boards.
And she looked like she had actually turned her stick and
number
hit it
20.
from the left side.
25. And Ava Gottschalk brought that down.
I don't think I've ever seen that where the ball actually hit the corner of that post, and came ricocheting back out. That was quite a hit. Who was that hit? Who made the hit? Do you know?
Faith Craigle took it in, number 4.
For the Bel Air Bobcats, Faith Craigle.
She's got a really strong drive.
You can tell that Faith is a sophomore.
Yep.
Belongs to the H2O club. What is the H2O club? Is that one of the top club teams around?
Yep, it's a really strong, it's the Harford Hockey Club, and really strong club team in Harford County. A lot of girls actually on North Harford and Bel Air today play and are part of the H2O community.
Faith Craigle, a young lady, happy to be back playing. She had been ill and also had a wrist injury as well, so it's good to see her back on the field.
She spent most of her summer in recovery.
And a sophomore, so she's looking forward to a full season. And After again last year, and I don't want to say being robbed of their lead season because there was nothing anybody could do about it, but
Yeah.
not being able to play, it had to be tough, especially on parents. I can imagine all the energy pent up. And
Yes,
they'd come home.
absolutely. The county did a good job, though, and the rec community really rallied for the kids. And as Karen was saying in the first half, Karen and I had the opportunity actually to coach. And actually, I helped coach the North Hartford team last year during the rec season, and it gave the kids an opportunity to keep a stick in hand, and so they didn't really miss fully out on it. Not the same as playing in the county, but still a great opportunity overall.
So some of these players for North Hartford, you actually had them on
I
your
did.
team.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have divided loyalties here. That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
About 7 minutes now left, just about halfway through this third period. Still 3-0. Bobcats broke on top 1-0 in the first period, scored 2 more goals in the second. First 2 goals by Fike, last one by Fleischman. Hawks on the attack, looking to try to get the ball in that circle to be able to score. What's that call about, Larry?
Not sure what she called. I didn't really see what the call was there.
North Hartford will
Probably a
retain
hard
possession.
stick. Yeah.
Oh, nice clear.
Autumn's had a great game. Yep, really strong defense.
Autumn Tagliaferri. I like to say her last name.
Yes,
Kind of
thank you. I'm
melodious.
sorry. I was looking for that on my sheet and couldn't find it.
Basketball player. We talked about a 3-sport player, and she's one who does basketball and lacrosse.
Yeah,
And field hockey.
you can tell she's a great athlete.
Yeah.
She's got great speed and transition.
Laura, you as a mom, you know that what it takes to play, practice every day. You know, you got to get home, got to get your homework. I've had a lot of players tell me that it's better playing because they're more focused,
Yes.
more disciplined. They know they've got to get home, get their supper, get their meal, and then do their homework. Whereas if you're not playing, and it's easy to come home and get on the internet or something like that.
Absolutely. There's something to be said for routine.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what a lot of that structure, athletes are used to it. It creates a great discipline for them, and it can help them really stay focused. You'll notice sometimes, especially in high school, you'll see the kids working on their homework in between games. So it's a good way for them to stay on top of it and even have study buddies built in as teammates.
You talk about teammates who become your best friends, and being an old guy like I am, still there are teammates that I was with in high school and college that we still are in touch, and we still play golf together, and there's something about that friendship that builds,
Absolutely.
you know, on a team. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. And the coaches, the relationship between a coach and a player sometimes lasts a lifetime.
Absolutely. I'm still friends with all of my coaches for sure, and many of my teammates. So yeah, you really become a family. They become your family. You're in the thick of things together. You learn how to do hard things and celebrate big wins and celebrate tough losses together, and really come through in the long run.
Boy, that's a very good point. Francis Scott Key, the Cadets. What were they?
Eagles.
The Eagles.
Yes.
Yeah. Named for the lawyer who wrote the poem that became our national anthem.
That is right.
How
Yes.
about that?
He was born and raised in Carroll County as well. His homestead estate was only a couple miles from the school.
How about that? Captured by the British, and as he was on that man of war out in the harbor at Fort McHenry.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I'm an old history teacher. This is my chance to talk
You're
history.
doing great. I love it.
Oh, goodness. Trouble is, they put it to an old British drinking song. That was the tune they put it to, which probably detracted a little bit from the...
But it made it memorable.
It did.
Nice defense.
Hawks looking again to try to get on the board. Third period
All right.
winding down. We're about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third period.
Here goes Faith Craigle to take the shot out. Faith's got a really strong drive. Good stop. And that should be Riley Mason, I believe, bringing that ball in. Yeah.
Switching sides, we were talking, Karen was.
Kendall Fortune's had a really good game. She's been really strong. And there's a corner. Good try by Grace Conklin.
You talk about Kendall Fortune, she certainly has. The junior played just an outstanding game, both defensively and now on the offensive end.
Yes, good save by Nora just then. All right.
So we have a new goalkeeper?
Yes, Nora. Delaney, Nora Delaney.
Okay, and so she's
Number 88.
she's replacing the Bel Air goalkeeper, Mackenzie Leeson.
That's right.
So it looks like, what, a half of they're playing goalies, so like each half?
Yeah, a lot of times you do that, especially if two goalies. Although Sarah Ref Snyder has stayed in the whole time. She's a really strong goalie.
Hawks with that corner.
And Riley Mason with the ball. Looking for a 5-yard pass so that she can get the insert into the circle.
Still North Harford ball.
Yep. It's Grace Conklin taking it in.
How the play it goes. I think that'll stay in possession of North Harford.
Yeah, it looks like they called that as a long hit, so it should be at the 25-yard coming in.
So it has to go 5 yards before a shot can be made on goal.
That's right. In this position, she should really look to pass lateral so that she can change direction and have a better shot taking it into the circle.
That's a good point. And that ball elevated itself off the ground, which is not good. Harder for the person to make the stop, to be able to convert it into a shot. I say like I know what I'm talking about. It just looks more difficult to catch a bouncing ball.
Well, the biggest thing there is that it would have been better if she pushed it. She'd given her teammate a better chance to control the ball.
But the Bobcats have
there's
just
a
played
corner.
great defense, though, haven't they?
Yes, they
Every
have.
time North Harford's had a chance to mount some kind of an attack, Bobcats have been there.
I'm not sure what corner this is for North Harford, but they've had quite a few this game. So this is their best opportunity to score here.
Yeah, especially in the third period. Looks like the whole first period they didn't have any at all.
So you might end on this. The time might end early, but you can't end on a corner. You have to finish the corner.
I see what you're saying.
It's a good insert.
That was Hannah Kreisig who put the ball in play.
Missed opportunity by North Harford. They really put the pressure on, though.
They really did. That ball just off the corner of the goal. Time winding down, even though the ball has gone off the field. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. One thing about this game, there are very few clock stoppages.
Oh, yes. All right, and that's the end of the third quarter.
That horn didn't scare me at all. Right here beside us, the horn goes off. So now we go to the final 15 minutes with the Bobcats leading by 3-0. I guess this time you begin to get a little bit tired. You have to push through it.
Yeah. Well, depending on and you know the turf with playing on turf, as Karen was saying in the first half, it's a much faster game. So you know in high school the girls can play anywhere depending on the speed of the turf. They can play run anywhere from 2 to 5 miles in a game depending on your position.
Wow.
So by the time you get to the fourth quarter, they can get pretty tired, especially if they played the whole game.
Wow.
Your
2 to 5 miles.
Your
running.
midfielders and your offensive line are going to be your bigger runners. But your defense tends to have a lot of stamina, too, because they do a lot of backpedaling and a lot of leg workouts, staying low.
You can see Carla Harford, who's still into it as the coach for the North Harford Hawks, convincing her kids, hey, look, you got 15 minutes. Let's score 1 goal. Let's make it 3-1 and then chip away some more.
Yeah.
You've been in that position. What do you tell your team?
Hardest part as a coach is just to rally your team. You want them to finish as hard as they can. Seeing the field from the sidelines is always a different perspective, so it's good for the players to hear what strategy they're seeing and change it up. At this point, the goal for them is really to go to goal. They need to pressure on and take every opportunity to really just penetrate the circle and take the shot.
Megan Lukasavage, on the other hand, telling her team, look, there's 15 minutes left. You can't rest on your laurels.
That's right. They got to stay up on their defense. Oh, there's a cute little
Aw.
puppy.
Yeah. And your son being a zoologist would just love that, right?
Absolutely.
So could you say that this place has gone to the dogs? No.
That one.
Oh, and speaking of cute,
And babies.
come on. You got dogs and babies. What else could you like?
Emotional support creatures.
The babies or the dogs?
I think both, actually.
Okay, fine. Yeah, just a beautiful day here at North Harford. Nice little crowd. We don't say there's hundreds of people here, maybe dozens.
Yes, lots of devoted parents.
Yeah, enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
We're talking next door about how the leaves are just beginning to turn here at North Harford. I'm told around about October 20th or so. Up here, if you're looking across this field with the golds and the
Absolutely
greens.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the rolling hills up here. North Hartford definitely has the view. Beautiful country. The sunsets up here are very pretty.
Yes, they are.
Hmm.
As they are throughout the county.
Yes, absolutely.
But especially here. Okay, the Hawks again starting this fourth period, again trying to get that first
Riley
goal.
Mason bringing it in. Nora
I'm not
Delaney.
sure that was a good stop. She sort of kicked it right back in the middle. You don't want to do that, do you?
No, it's better to clear it out to the side if you can, or more importantly, to a defender who can get it out.
I've never played goalie, but I'm thinking, no, don't kick it back in the middle. Laurie, she lofted the ball there. That's one thing that Karen and I were talking about. It's something new in the game where you can actually loft it.
It is, and actually this year they just changed the rule on that too, where when you're lifting it, you can actually lift it directly as a pass, and that's dropping it like they did there, where it just goes right into the crowd.
Nice interception by North Harford. Looked like that was Grace Underwood who made that interception, got the ball going the other way.
Yeah, Grace has had a strong game.
Grace, a junior, one of the defenders on the North Harford team. Coming up on the 13-minute mark. No scoring here in the second half. All the scoring one in the first period, two in the second.
Yeah, field hockey definitely tends to be a low-scoring game. It's a lot about strategy. It's hard to get the ball in. Nice play by Paige Fike.
Paige Fike, the freshman.
Yes.
I understand she has a wonderful mother, I'm told. Her mother told me that.
She
That's
does.
what
She does. She's a very dear friend of mine.
Paige, of course, who was our commentator for the first
Nice
half.
save by Sarah Reesnyder.
Sarah Reesnyder had 38 saves coming in for North Harford. She's been under the gun this game, especially in that first half.
Yes, absolutely. She's a very strong goalie. You can, if you're anywhere near the field, you can hear her. She's really good at commanding her defense and telling them where to go.
Another one of those three sport players, softball and basketball.
Absolutely.
Wants to be an athletic trainer.
I could see her being very good at that.
We talk about that all the time, how wonderful it is now that we have an athletic trainer on site here
Yes.
during the games and during the practices.
Yes.
Back
so
in the day,
important.
going back 30 years when I was coaching, 40 years when I was coaching, they had no athletic trainers. So if there was an injury, you just did the best you could and
That's
hoped
right.
that you made the right decisions.
Yes.
Such a comfort as a coach to know that, hey, you can coach the game and not worry so much about treating that injury.
Absolutely.
And the trainers who come back into the school during the school day, and check on the players.
Yeah,
Just
it's
a-
really
A
awesome.
great partnership.
It really is. North Hartford pressuring, bringing it down.
On that right side, you talked about how it is.
Right. And there's that insert into the goal. And a good block out by Nora Delaney.
Clock winding down to 11:30 left in the game. Bobcats looking for that first win of the year if they can hang on here.
All right, McDaniel.
Taken away, that's Underwood. No, check it, that's Fortune,
Yep.
number
Kendall
7.
Fortune.
Again, she has, if you look for an outstanding player for North Harford, she certainly has been that. Hawks have really dominated the second half. They just haven't been able to get the ball in position to score. Part of that's because the Bobcats have been great defensively.
Yeah, it's definitely been more of a defensive half for the Bobcats, for sure.
And if you've got a 3-goal lead, that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Here come the Hawks again.
Good pressure by Paige Fike.
We were talking about Carla Harwood. She's been coaching now for 28 years. English teacher and coach, and to have that kind of fire and attitude. Sometimes it's easy when you're a young coach just starting.
It's a big commitment. She's a great leader and a great force in the field of field hockey. So she's done a lot for this sport and certainly in advancing it in the county.
Well, right on front of the net. We talked about Alice Puckett, and the same thing can be said for her. She was as fiery when she was a 30-year coach as she was when she was a first-year coach.
Absolutely. Yeah. Alice is great. I don't think there's anyone that plays field hockey in Maryland that doesn't know who she is.
Yeah.
And any kid who's ever attended her camp walks away loving her and remembering her very, very dearly. So
Yep.
she's great. She's a great teacher.
Yeah, and a great family. The Hopkins family from which she
Yes.
comes in the county, and now
The Hopkins Brewery.
I don't think we can say that on the air. Can we?
Oh,
talk?
we can?
No, yes, we can.
Oh, we can.
The Hopkins Brewery, certainly. Since she's retired, taken a very active role in that. She was the guest speaker at the Alcesky banquet this year, and I had a chance to be there and listen to her speak. She just, again, she gave a fiery talk, and we were just there for a banquet. I was
That's
ready to go
awesome.
out and play. I was wanting to hit somebody.
She's
Let's go.
definitely inspiring.
Yeah, she is that.
She was actually the head coach for Falston when I played for Francis Scott Key.
Really?
So, yep.
And that was during her 13 state titles, I believe she won.
Yeah.
How did you do? How did the Eagles do against
We
the
actually beat
Cougars?
them, and we went to states that year.
No.
Yep. We beat them in the playoff game and ended up going to states down in Pocomoke.
Come on. I guess Alice was not too happy about that.
No, but she remembered us.
Is that right? Wow. Here come the Hawks. That's Fortune again. As Karen was talking about, going down that left side even tougher because, again, you're advancing it with your right hand.
Absolutely. It can be a good strategy, though. Oh, good try by
just
the
wide.
good try by the Hawks. Nice pressure.
Yeah, we've got about 8 minutes now left in the game. That would have been the key to be able to get that first goal. Sometimes if you get a goal, they come in like string.
Yeah, they do. Your best opportunity is right after you scored.
Yeah. You hear the wind in our field mic picking up. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s, I think. Just a beautiful day.
Yeah. So the Bobcat defense needs to really stay low and take it out. They've got to keep their pressure on to keep it out of their back half right now.
Yeah, besides winning the game, a shutout, that's something, that's fun to have.
Absolutely.
So if you've got a 3-0 lead, you certainly want to keep it that
You
way.
certainly want to hold on to it for sure.
But you're right, the Bobcats have not had a whole lot of offense going in the second half. Do you think that's more because they have the 3-0 lead and they're just sort of trying to keep that lead?
Well, some of it could be that they're tired, but I really think that North Hartford hasn't stopped. They've kept the pressure on, and they're really dominating from the midfield.
That's a very good point. Something, if you're North Hartford, even if you lose the game, which I'm not saying they're going to, but if you do, you can say, hey, we struggled and fought to the very end.
Yeah, every game you have an opportunity to look back and analyze, and right now their second half would be their stronger one at this point.
Absolutely. Here come the Hawks. So difficult, again, to control the ball on the ground and have your head up enough to be able to see where your teammates are.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong skill. It's one that coaching, we practice a lot. You coach the kids to dribble the ball while keeping their eyes up and looking down the field.
Yeah.
So having the confidence of your stick on your ball, if you keep your stick steady on the ball. You don't have to worry where your ball is because you can feel it and you know where it is. And then you can use your eyes to have a strategy on that pass.
Yeah, very good point. Similar to basketball where you're dribbling, but the last thing you can do is watch yourself dribble. You have to keep your head up. Easier to control a dribble than it is a hockey ball and a stick.
Yes, yet it's also called dribbling, so.
Well, there you go. See, I did some expert analysis there. See how I did that?
Well played.
Thank you. I love compliments. 5 minutes, 40 seconds left in the contest. Again, 3-0. The Bobcats, as you see, led all the way, scoring that first goal in the first period. Pike with the goal, Paige Pike, scoring the second goal early in the second period, and then Fleischman with the third goal. That sort of put the game, I don't want to say on ice, but really made it difficult for North Harford. No scoring at all in the second half. Speaking of H2O, we see a young man coming up with an H2O sweater on. Who is that, Karen? Is that one of your...
That's my husband.
No way! And his name is?
Rob Tabor.
Hey, Rob. Rob Tabor just arriving. He paid me to do that. There's a nice save.
Nice. All right, so this will be a ball coming out.
And please remind him I said a young man coming up.
Oh, I will tell him. I'll remind him.
Yeah. Well, it'll be on tape. You'll see it. What can we say? Inside 4 minutes and 30 seconds now.
I'm going to give a card.
What would that be about?
It was a little bit of pushing, a little too aggressive on the defense there. So
now we know about yellow cards and red cards in soccer. What are the cards they get here?
So she got a yellow card. So she should have. Is it 3 minutes or 5 minutes where she'll have to sit up? Should be 3 minutes, I think.
And they play down, a man down?
They will play man down, yep.
So the Hawks now have an opportunity with a one-person advantage.
Good opportunity for them, for sure, to pressure.
Now, if they score, does that cancel the penalty?
No. You have to remain out during the time.
Good job by Belair, the defense.
So now we really want to clear that as a defense and send it up the side. North Hartford keeping that pressure on.
Emma Moffett with the ball. Well, you can see the Hawks sense that they've had an opportunity now.
Yeah. So North Hartford coming in.
3:45. There's Moffett.
It was off the foot, so it's coming out on Belair.
Oh, nice clear by the Bobcats.
Yeah.
Here come the Hawks, though. Chance. No, just wide. Boy, how many times have they missed by like a foot or so?
That play is really hard where they were just bringing in, but it's in positioning is so important.
Who's your new goalie now?
Nora Delaney is in the goal for Belair.
Yep, who's played now the second half. Mackenzie Leeson played the first half, and really Mackenzie was not under a whole lot of pressure, but Nora's been under quite a bit of pressure here in the second half. North Hartford ball inside 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Fans are into the ball game, as you can hear.
Absolutely. Paige Fike bringing it down. Paige has great stick skills.
That's a freshman.
She is a freshman.
Where did she learn that? She must have had a good coach in her earlier.
She sure did.
Oh, her mother, right?
Her mom was her coach, for sure. Her mom must have played in college.
Yes, she did. I heard that. She said that on air. Oh. Again, Karen Fike and Laurie Tabor, we certainly thank both of you for joining me here and keeping us straight and letting us know what's going on the field.
Absolutely. It's been our pleasure.
Right across the goal mouth, but not able to get a stick on it. I am really impressed with North Hartford. They're the fact that they're down by 3 goals, they haven't given up, and they've really kept the pressure on.
Absolutely, they've played a tough game.
But in the end, with that minute 35 left, I'm always hesitant to say it looks like Bel Air has this game in the bag, but certainly looks like they are going to go to 1-2, their first win, and a win in the Upback in the Chesapeake division. You're thinking C. Milton Wright is a team to beat in the Chesapeake?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it always depends every year. And coming off of last year where we didn't have a full season, it'll be interesting to see how the teams are rebuilt this year. But certainly, there was a summer 7v7 tournaments that a lot of the girls across the county participated in, and the girls from C. Milton were looking pretty strong.
Yeah. Inside a minute now left in the game. I'm going to have to leave you shortly after this game is over. Just want to thank you for tuning in here to the Harford Cable Network, our Harford County High School Game of the Week. Bel Air Bobcats visiting North Harford. Bobcats looking like they're going to win this game, go to 1-2. North Harford will be at 1-5, but they'll take a lot out of this because they have learned that they can play head-to-head here in the second half. 20 seconds left in the game. Laura, your assessment of both teams?
I think they both played some really strong field hockey today. Bel Air definitely had a good, strong first half. A lot of pressure on goal, great passing, and good communication. That makes all the difference. And North Hartford equally great defense and really protected their goal. Obviously did a great job second half, not letting the Bobcats penetrate their circle very much.
And Laurie, it's always easy to be up and enthusiastic when you're leading, but when you're down 3-0, it's easy to say, well, hey, let's just play this thing out. But they played the entire game and put the pressure on the Bobcats.
They absolutely did. They played a great game. They definitely had some really strong players out there that carried them today.
Paige Fike, who has the 2 goals, scoring one at 3:30 of the first period, scoring the second one at 11:51. And then Fleischman, who scored that last goal for the Bobcats, that came at 7:12 of the second period. That's the only scoring, no scoring at all in the second period, I should say in the second half, either the third or the fourth period. So a final score from North Hartford, it is the Bel Air Bobcats 3, North Hartford Hawks nothing. North Hartford Hawks falling now to 1-5. The Bel Air Bobcats are at 1-2. I want to thank my partners Karen Fike and Laurie Tabor. Did a great job. Thank you all for being with me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We had a blast.
Thanks to the fans for staying tuned, and do stay tuned all season long as we bring you the Harford County High School Game of the Week on the Harford Cable Network. I'm Don Morrison saying thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.